Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Cash, and this morning I'm going to do a craft with these ceramic pots. I'm just going to paint them, and then out in my front yard, I'll try to post a picture, but I have a little garden, hanging garden on my picket fence, and on it I stencil words so that when people walk by they can see things that say, I'll come close and show you this stencil. But it says things like laugh, hope, create, be happy, imagine, inspire. They're just good words. Wish. And so what I do is I paint my pots and plant flowers in them, and I'm hoping to encourage people when they walk by the house and see the inspirational words on the little pots with the flowers. And so first what I have to do is I'm going to prime the pots because the ceramic is very porous, and if I were to use my colorful paints, they wouldn't show up very well. So I put some white paint in this styrofoam cup, and I'm just going to prime the little pots. And then I have these really pretty colors. I have a really pretty pink, and I just got these at Joann Fabrics, which is where I also got the stencil. And I think the stencil is regularly $5.99, but I had a 50% off coupon, so it was like $2.50 or $3, something like that. Anyway, I have a really pretty pink, a really pretty blue, and I have a purple and another pale pink, and then I have some other colors downstairs that I can use just because I have a lot of craft projects. So right now what I'm going to do is just prime these pots, and if you're interested in watching to see what I do and how I do it, then just keep. Okay, so now I have the primed coat on, and I'm going to let that dry, and then I like to do just the inside rim. I like to paint that with a primer too because I like to touch up the inside. I like to do the rim one color, so maybe do the rim in a pale pink and then the bottom in a blue or something like that. So I want the inside of the rim to be the color of the outside. So I'm just going to let these dry, and then I'll add another coat and touch up the inside, and then I'll start painting the colors, and then after that I'll stencil on the words either in white or black, whatever stands out the most. And one of the things I do is I don't know if you guys noticed this table, but my son made it for me, my son and my husband, and it's just poured concrete. So I use it in the kitchen because I do a lot of crafts and cooking, and I don't like to have to worry. We used to have a nice, I think it was a teak table, and I was always worried about staining it or scratching it. And this I don't have to worry about, and I love it. It's tall, and I can just do all my projects. I do use a piece of cardboard, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but it was a cupcake box that we had some cupcakes over the weekend, and so I just took the box and cut the bottom out and used that for, or actually the top, because the bottom was probably greasy. But I just used the cardboard box left over to use my little pots so they don't get, so I can stand my wet pots on them and they don't stain the table. I mean, if it does get on the table like right here, I don't worry about it horribly, but I don't want to have huge paint spots all over. It probably wouldn't hurt, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to let these dry, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, because these are so porous, they dry pretty quickly. And let me check and make sure they're... Some spots may not be completely dry, like on the bottom I put a lot, but it looks like it's pretty dry. And you can see I just did the rim with some primer. So now I'm going to paint the colors, and let's see what color we'll start with. Oh, I got to cut off the the protective seal. It's a really pretty color. And I've painted a lot of these pots, so I've learned that if you paint the white underneath first, they're much more vibrant. It's just that if you don't prime them, they absorb, the ceramic absorbs the color. And I like it to be really vibrant. Another tip is I use these jelly jars. I'm just cheap, so instead of using cups and ruining my cups, and I try not to really buy styrofoam very much. The only time I get it is if I'm having like a group of people over for coffee or something. It's not very often, and it sure hasn't been very often this year. But hopefully now things will start being more normal and I can have people over for coffee again. So at Christmas, around the holidays, I paint the pots different colors. Around Halloween, I use that chalkboard paint, and then I stencil on words like boo or little ghosts or something. Just something fun. This paintbrush is losing some bristles. These are really cheap paintbrushes, so sometimes there's a reason they're cheap. But isn't that pretty? That's without any of the words or anything. It's just the color. Let's try a blue one. But that's it's called Sapphire, and it's it's a folk art color. It's almost like a glittery color. I don't know if you can see that, but it is really pretty. I really like blue too, so maybe I'm biased. And these don't have to be perfect because hopefully they're going to have flowers trailing over the edges. I have to do this every few years because I have a couple dogs and they jump up on the fence, and when people go by they're greeting the passers-by, and a lot of times they knock the pots off the fence. They're hooked on, but just sometimes they fall. And so I just redo them. They're only, you can get these pots probably anywhere, like even your grocery stores, probably around the summer or spring. But I get them at Joann Crafting Fabric. And Joann's has a lot of 50% off coupons or 40% off coupons. So say the pot's $3.99, well then you can get it for $2. And I just buy, 10 of them and have them on hand. But I was out of them, and I did have to go get some new ones the other day. And then I picked up these pinks. I just thought, oh, I need some new colors. And I like to paint, so it's very kind of soothing to me. I could be using a bigger brush. is so pretty. What I try to do is contrast, do the body of one color and then do a rim with that color so that there's some kind of cohesiveness to my random coloring. And then I like to just touch up the inside of the rim with that same color so it looks like the pot's all painted. Of course it's not really, but, and you could paint your whole pot, but I'm kind of cheap, so I don't use more than I have to of things, but I still want it to be pretty. And so I'm just, I guess, you know, considering the price, these aren't very expensive, they're like $2. But if you do pots all the time, I just don't like to be wasteful. Growing up in a family with 9 kids, Mom never wasted anything. And so that's just the way I was raised. And I just like to go down enough so that when people are walking by and they look at the flowers, if they're not very big yet, it looks like it's all a finished pot. It doesn't look, you know, ceramic on the inside. So the reason I'm redoing the pots is this. At Christmas or around the holidays, I paint them red and white or red and green and put words like hope or wish or believe. And my dog jumped up on the fence and it fell. And these are, you know, they're not expensive. So if she breaks a few, I don't get really upset. I just repaint them, and I like to change the colors too. So around Halloween I do black, and I use the chalkboard paint, and then I can write words on it. And then in the spring I try to do you know, pastels. And then in the summer I like to try to do bright colors. And I think these are a cross between spring and the ones I'm doing over here. I think they're kind of a cross between spring and summer. So I can put them out. Some of the ones I have out right now are pink. And so I thought these would be pretty. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take my broken flowers or plants and then put them in these pots. And first I have to stencil them, so I'll do that. But I just wanted you to see what I meant by her knocking them off the fence. And then it's not like they shatter completely, they just break. And some of them I hang back up even when they're broken. Not like this, but if they're just chipped or whatever. But this one's pretty broken. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've got the, some of them stuck to the bottom. The little pot's painted. And I'm going to take the stencil, which has all these, let me see if you can see that. I showed it to you once, but let's see if you can see the words. There's a lot of good words on this stencil. And so what I'm going to do, it looks like it's there, maybe that's better. Cut them out and use some painter's tape to stick them onto the pot. And then I'm going to stencil them. And I think I'm going to try white because I think it'll stand out, but we'll see. like to sometimes do them on both sides in case the pots get rotated, which happens. And I use extra blue so that I don't have to be so very precise when I'm painting. If you put a little extra blue tape, you don't have to worry about you know, going over onto the pot. It just makes it easier. Okay, so now I've got the little stencil words taped on with the painter's tape. And now I'm just going to pull out my white and just kind of dab it. Hopefully, really it should be a thick paste. There's stencil paint you can actually get. This I think I did too thick. I'm going to try to wipe some of it off. But we'll see. Yeah, a little bit. Let's see if I can fix it real quick with the Q-tip. See it? I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to get a Q-tip and try to fix it real quick. So that's better. Let's see if you can see that. But that's just a reminder, don't use too much paint. You gotta just kind of dab a little bit, otherwise it will smear. And this is just regular paint, it's not stencil paint. My sister stopped by and my dogs just went crazy. They love her. Frey or Sophie?
Sophie being a good girl. She wants her tummy scratched.
Yeah, she likes, they all like attention. Who doesn't like attention?
Freya is a good girl. Freya needed to be brushed so bad.
I know,
So
I've misplaced her brush.
You.
Freya needs to be brushed, but
Girl.
I don't know where her brush went. I'm afraid maybe it fell out of the little bin that hangs above the recycling and fell in and somebody threw it away, is what I am worried about. Oops, that wasn't good. Did you girls hear me yell? It was okay, girls. I just dropped a paintbrush. It's no big deal.
I just brushed her. I just scratched her a little bit.
Oh my. Yeah, they're shedding and I need to find their brush, but I hate to go buy one because I know as soon as I do, I'll find it. I'll show you them up close. I don't know if you can see them from that far away. Aren't these cute?
Uh-huh. What made you pick those colors?
I wanted summer colors. Do you hate them?
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking, you know, because at Christmas I do the red and white, and then at Halloween I use the chalkboard paint and write like boo or, you know, fright or whatever, scary, and do some little ghosts. But for the summer, I wanted something bright and cheery. And I think these are pretty bright.
Bright and cheery.
Here, so let me show you what I've got. There's a glare. dream and imagine, hope, laugh, and create. So I'll probably wipe these off and then put them on the back side, because if you just did it right away, there's paint that seeps through a little and you don't want to smear it. So I'm going to clean up and then I will put some plants in and show you. What I'm going to do now is take one of my new ones. Let's see if you can see what that says. Let's see. Try to get it in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take these plants that have fallen out of my old pots, and then I'll trim them up a bit too, because some of them have a little dead stuff on them because they laid on the ground. And just clean it up, and I'll add a little more soil. And then these will be ready to go out on my fence. And I'll show you when I've got them all ready and out on the fence. Let's see. There it is. So I've painted all my pots and I've put some flowers in them and I've put them out on my fence. And I'm going to take you outside and show you how they look. And remember, some of these flowers have been wintering, so they're not fully in bloom, but I'm hopeful that over the next couple months, these are going to get really full and be bloom to full. Anyway, I'll take you out there and show you. These are my beets and my rhubarb. And I was just going to show you my little community library, which my husband made me for Christmas one year. And I think it's so cute. It matches my house. Let me see if I can show you. So it's just a little free library where you can take a book and then leave one if you have an extra one, and a little bench for people to use when they're looking through the books. And my little bee house up there. But the thing I love about this little library is my husband put wallpaper in there. He wallpapered it and put a little chair rail and hardwood floor. Let me open it up so you can see. And it gets used a lot. People come here all the time, and I decorate it for the holidays. I hang up Christmas lights and garland, and I just love it. It's so cute, I think. And I think my husband did a really good job. Let's see if I can get a picture. Anyway, my husband built me these trellises for my tomatoes, which you can see down there. They haven't started really growing yet. And we're on a bike path or house. But let me just show you these. It's a little hanging garden. It's my own little hanging garden. You can see the dogs there. They enjoy the benches. They sit there a lot. And I love the allium. And the little, these are alliums too, but they're in the onion family. All these are in the onion family. If you pick them and you smell the roots, they smell just like onions. And I've got a little fairy house there, a little fairy cage with ladders leading up to it. And there's the bee house from this side. And more of my little hanging garden. Freya. Okay, let's go inside, girls. Come on. Let's go in. Come on. You want to go inside? Come on. Come on, Sophie.